Take this graphic away. Here we go. And
let's roll it.
Boom.
Let's roll it.
We're
Guys,
here.
Welcome the Samcar Tuesday Takeover. This has been a nice little little chat room, right? A little free preview, I think, of the Tuesday Takeover. My name is Scott Moran. That is Taylor Danielle. That is Jordan P. Anderson up top. And yeah, we and the whole Samcar team are here producing the Samcar Tuesday Takeover, where we take a look at a popular creator in the world. We talk about how much money they're making, how much money they're leaving on the table, right? And teach you guys how to monetize like the best in the business. So yeah, Jordan, with that,
let's get started. Oh yeah, we always have to ask. Type first if this is the first time you're watching the Tuesday Takeover. But yeah, we today we're going to take over the Financial Diet, TFD as they're going to call it. They're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, they're all over the kind of financial blog. Anywhere between side hustles to how to save money on that avocado toast, everywhere in between. So they're making great content. But
big shout out. I was going to say a big shout out. We got Chris from Oregon. We've got Lucy's on the call. Stephanie from Boston. We've got Norm. Our boy Norm is here. So everybody say, give us a shout out. Let us know where you're coming in from in the chat. Always love seeing you guys here. But yeah, this is us. So Scott, co-founder here at Samcar. Taylor, Team Samcar. Taylor, we need to put something cooler on Team Samcar. Taylor, tell the people what you do.
Oh, I'm your favorite support person. So like if you're having technical issues or like, hey, I don't know how to make, my text show up like this, or I want my Samcar page to do that, I'm actually the person that's responding to those emails. So when you send in those emails and I type support@samcar.com, it's your girl and team.
It's your girl on the other side. Yeah, that's exactly right. I love it.
Got a whole squad.
We've got Jordan P. Anderson, lead creative producer.
Yes,
we've changed that title a number of times. Jordan is the guy that makes things happen with video around here. So if you like something about studio or video, Jordan's your guy for sure. Definitely check him out. But yeah, this is it. This is the Tuesday Takeover. We do this once a week. We get on Tuesday. We break down e-commerce experts, we are the e-commerce experts. We break down creator businesses and show you again how they're making their money, right? Where they could probably be making a lot more money, and how you can monetize like the pros. So like Jordan said, if this is the first time you have attended a Samcar Takeover, drop a first down in the chat. Let us celebrate you and joining us here. Always love our repeat customers, people coming back to learn more about how to monetize and how to grow their business, how to be more efficient in what you're doing with your audience, no matter how big or how small.
All right, so let's get into it. So we have our 4 core questions that we usually like to cover, and I think we're just going to jump right into it. But before that, we have to remember that this is a two-way street. This is not just you sitting back, relaxing and watching. You are taking notes for the class. So if you hear something, if you hear a point, a piece of information, a golden nugget, type it out in the chat, take notes for the class, and share it and said, hey, I did not know this, and now I knew, and it's amazing. I got to share it with the world. So type your aha moments in the chat. But yeah, let's get into it. So we're not going to go review all 4 core questions. We're just going to go down the line through the Financial Diet, understanding what Chelsea and her team are rocking with. And we always ask, what's the opportunity? It's question number 1. And what's the opportunity? Usually could be like, how big is their audience? How much social media following do they have? How big is their email list? And then even things like, what is their niche or industry? Taylor, TFD kind of goes towards female audience, but kind of in the financial space, or that want to get better maybe at their household or their budget or stock market investing. I think I had that right.
Yeah. Financial literacy for women specifically, or femme presenting. So it's always about making sure that the things that's going on in the stock markets and Wall Street and all of that, as well as how to budget and manage your own money, whether that's personally or for businesses. TFD does a really good job of breaking that down, especially trying to make financial education equal for all. So definitely a great group to follow. I highly suggest checking out their videos for sure.
Great content, by the way. Really, just as a shout out for anybody here who's watching, you're thinking, how do I grow an audience? How do I do this kind of things? Go check them out, right? They got links down below this video to their social platforms and things like that. Definitely go check them out. Give them a subscribe. Really, really good content creators. I think that's awesome. And now, really, what do we do here at Samcar? We are all about how do we monetize that, which brings us to question number 2, which is, what is this creator promoting? If you go watch a video, if you go follow a link in bio, if you go, to their homepage, whatever, what are they promoting? What are the breadcrumbs that they're sending you off to go do something, right? If you want to
Mhm.
engage, right? What is that first link in their YouTube description underneath of that video, right? Is there a free list you can join? Is there a paid product you can buy? Is there alignment? Alignment is a great term, right? Taylor, give the people what they want with the alignment. Like, you know what I mean? What is alignment when we say that word? Something we use often.
Yeah, just making sure that whatever it is that you're putting out there goes right back to you and what you're wanting to offer to people. We want people to be fans of yours consistently. So promote your stuff. What is the thing that makes you great at what you do? And how can you get that as quickly as possible to your fans?
Exactly right. Yeah, 100%. Right. And so I think, achieving alignment is a great goal for anybody who wants to start making more money from their audience. Right. So, Jordan, you did the math on this, right? This is actually, tell us, there's a screenshot here is actually from like a media kit.
Yeah,
that
we did.
the
Yeah, we did the
guy
deep
puts out
dive.
there. So they kind of did some of the research for us, but what are we looking at here?
Yeah, we're just going off of kind of what they say in their media kit. A media kit is something that, if you're trying to work with a specific brand, you kind of send them this kind of one-page presentation or multi-page presentation to say, like, here's what we are, here's what we can offer, here's what we can offer your audience and as if you work with us as a brand. So yeah, 975,000 on YouTube, 1.5 million monthly page views, 100,000 event attendees, over a million across most of other social media, and a 30% open rate or a 3% CTR. Scott, is that, give me some email context. Is that
Listen, in the world of
pretty solid?
email, you know what I mean? If you're sending to a very large list of people, a 30% open rate is very, very strong, right? And a 3% click-through rate, basically saying if I send 100 emails, 3 people are going to click on a link and go somewhere, right? Both very strong numbers, definitely the sign of a healthy audience that likes the financial diet. You know what I mean? They clearly are good at creating audiences that pay attention to what they're doing, which is super valuable, right?
So yeah, if we got to add it all together, that is 3.75 million eyeballs seeing the financial diet in some form or capacity. And our motto here that we've been pushing almost every single takeover is the idea of $1 per subscriber per year, which at a minimum, the very lowest that they should be making as a brand for TFD is $3.75 million per year. And hopefully maybe they can make 2x or 3x or $5 per subscriber per year. That's the goal. Scott, you want to kind of explain the $1 per subscriber
Yeah, the
per
$1
year?
thing is a benchmark. It is a minimum, right? We basically say that, listen, if you take all of your audiences and you add them up, that you should be making at a minimum $1 per subscriber per year, right? So we're going to take YouTube plus email lists plus Instagram plus, whatever it is that you might have, right? And you should be making a minimum of $1 per subscriber per year. So we don't know. Okay, we're not in the financial diet. We're not in, and I'm sorry, what's the main?
Chelsea is the
Chelsea,
kind of,
that's right. Her name is
yeah,
Chelsea.
she's the host.
I want to say Kelsey, and I was like, that's not right. Chelsea. We do not know Chelsea's numbers or financials. We are not involved with Chelsea's business or anything like that. But the idea is basically, okay, they have what is a very big opportunity, right? That $3.75 million in revenue per year is what I would judge to be their floor, right? So if I was in their business and I knew, you know what I mean? I would hope that they're making at least that much money because they have a massive opportunity to make at least that much money, right? So, essentially, good creators, people who do this, professionally, creators who are really, really good at monetizing will, like Jordan said, be making $5 per subscriber, 10, 20. I mean, we have people at Samcart that make $30 or $40 per subscriber per year, right? And so you can get these big outsized results if you know how to monetize. And so, yeah, this is basically what we're saying. We're putting a baseline out there. We're saying, listen, the financial diet from what we see in their audiences from a third-party perspective, should be making just shy of $4 million per year at a minimum, right? And if for some reason they're not, then there'd be a really, really, really big opportunity to continue to cash in and monetize better, essentially.
So if you're watching this right now, count up your entire audience on Twitter, TikTok, your email list, your YouTube subscriber, your podcast listener. Add that up together and put that in the chat. And then that'll give you the benchmark for your own business. Like, how much should I be making? And could I be making a whole lot more in my own business? Taylor, you want to take this next slide? This is kind of like question number 2. What are they promoting? This is their homepage. This is their website.
Yeah, this is always an interesting one because especially when you're coming up in all of the content creation world and you see so much information on how to create content and how to reach people, everybody talks about like your 30-second elevator pitch. And that's kind of what this question is if I go to your page, how can I understand what you do really fast and how can I get to whatever it is that you're offering? So that's something that we always suggest that everybody looks at whenever you're going through, whether it's just revamping your website or putting up your socials or whatever. Think about what is my page saying and what I'm promoting. So for me, for example, I'm a diabetes podcaster. If you land on all of my socials and nothing of that is showing there, then what actually are you seeing? So that's what we're looking at here with their website is you can see a good portion of what they have just based off of their menu on the website. So they've got a nice, guide to get you started if you've never been there before. They have events. They have a newsletter that they capitalize on. They have obviously their YouTube channel, a podcast, a membership, and brand deals, as well as just articles on information that they want to share because they are an educational site. So that's always something to think about. Anytime that you're auditing any of your websites or socials, think about what is it that you're promoting and is that clear across all of your channels.
Yeah, you know what? I love that Financial Diet. If we can, let's just go like completely full screen on here because I love that they are promoting things that they own. You know what I mean?
Right.
The first link over than the first one. Whatever you put first, people are going to click on more. Period. You know what I mean? So whatever's the first thing on your homepage or whatever the first thing in your link tree or whatever is going to be the very first thing that gets the most attention, right? And so, for them, start here. I believe it linked over to like join their email list or something, right? Wasn't it? It was something.
It's kind of like their top, like most popular articles.
Right.
So you're
Okay,
you're still on the web page, and it's just kind
you're
of
diving
read
into
these.
their world. You're getting more included in kind of what they do. You can join the newsletter, watch them on YouTube. They're kind of moving people from one platform to the other. If you watch us on YouTube, go check out the podcast. If you check out the podcast, come subscribe to our emails, right? All good stuff. But yeah, I mean, essentially, at the end of the day, there's one problem here, right? And I think the big problem, I think we have it on the next slide, right? But the idea is basically that there is nothing. If I'm a huge fan of the Financial Diet, if I'm a huge fan of Chelsea and I love what she's got going on, it's kind of difficult for me to spend money with Chelsea, right?
Mhm.
If I want to dive in, I want to engage with what you have, like there's really no way for me to say, Chelsea, take my money. You know what I mean? I am all in on this, right? I want to learn more from you. I want to get more from you. I want access. I want something, right? There's not really a way for the normal person to go and do that, right? We're actually going to kind of dive into this brand deals tab, which is kind of unique. Actually, it's fun to kind of look at somebody who's, I think, this heavy into brand deals. We'll kind of talk about where is that play, I think, into how they're making their money, right? But the whole idea is if I'm a raving fan, right? Where do I spend my money? Can I spend it with you? Where are they promoting? So good news, right? Chelsea and team are keeping her audience insular. You know what I mean? They're keeping their people in their own world, right? They're cross-promoting their own platforms and keeping people in their own world. That's awesome. I love seeing creators that don't shove people off to, affiliate revenue over here. And, they're just like sending people all over the web. Keep them in your own world. But I do think there's a problem here, and we'll kind of dive more into it here in a little bit.
Yeah, let's kind of move left to right. So the first thing, if your user is on their site, they're going to start left to right. They're going to start with the start here, read some articles, and then go, okay, now let's go to the events page. If you go to the events page, their next upcoming event is January of 2023. So several months from now, and I think the ticket is $199, and then there's another event that I think is $19. But we looked at all the past events, and she's doing TFD is doing events about probably like 3 events per quarter, I'd say. So, 12 to 15 events per year. They're running it through Eventbrite. So you can kind of buy a digital ticket to get your virtual access to this upcoming live stream. And the sad part is that we looked at Eventbrite, we looked at their settings. This is a screenshot from Eventbrite's calculator. So you type in how much, your ticket price is, how many tickets you expect to sell. Do you want to pass the fees on to your customers, or do you want to pay the fees? Then kind of what plan do you have? And if she were to, I think I have it over here on the next slide, that if, like she said in her media kit, that she has had over 100,000 people attend, and she sold an average ticket of $99, that is $9.9 million of revenue. Great. But for Eventbrite, for just hanging out, for just being a website, they're going to take $800,000 in event fee.
Unbelievable sum of money. An absolutely unbelievable sum of money. I mean, to think, and listen, there's a lot of ways to host an event. You know what I mean? Eventbrite is a perfectly fine place to do it. It's a perfectly fine tool, but no tool is worth that much money. Tools that take percentages of your sales should be enormous red flags because the deal is almost always heavily heavily in their favor. So,
Looking
you
at
know,
you, Twitch.
yeah, what's up, Twitch? Yeah, we see her.
Yeah.
Leads us to, again, right, the next slide, Jordan, is actually, you know, we go back to the other thing that Chelsea and company are selling, right, is
Yeah.
that they are selling a YouTube membership. So it's actually like basically Patreon, right, inside of YouTube. I mean, you know,
Exactly.
Taylor, you probably have more experience with what this kind of new product from YouTube is like, but you know, let somebody know if can anybody sell a YouTube membership? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, so basically YouTube is still trying to compete with Twitch in terms of the membership model that Twitch has had early on, and when Mixer died, you know, kind of took over. So being able to create this space where you can support your favorite creators without having to force them to sit through ads is kind of this new angle. And it's great because, you know, from a YouTube compared to Twitch setup, YouTube is definitely giving a lot more back to creators. But think about, you have your own membership, you have your own content that you're delivering. It's still on a platform that you don't own, meaning that they can control and change this anytime that they want. And you still have to meet some of their monetization requirements, like
Yep.
1,000 hours or subscribers. I don't even know how many at this point. So imagine if that was within their own site and they could charge how they want for their own membership instead of having to funnel through someone else.
Exactly.
So
You know, so when you sell your stuff on these other platforms, right, and they're taking big chunks, and you know, you don't technically own it. You know, what I mean, what happens if something weird happens and all of a sudden, you know, Chelsea's account gets shut down by YouTube or something like that, right? What happens to all those memberships, all those customers that she earned, that she brought in? You know what I mean? Like, they're just gone. So in addition to 30%, you don't really own them too, right? Like, those are kind of the big problems. And so, you know, we see this happen a lot. We see creators start, you know, selling stuff in places that they don't own, right? But here's kind of the bigger problem. This is problem number 2, right? This is just, again, this is a non-specific guess from the outside looking in, right? Of how is Chelsea currently making her money? And my guess is that the huge majority of her sales are coming from these brand deals and sponsors. If you go and read, you know, her, if you read email newsletters, if you watch videos, you know, it's very common that her YouTube videos, it's, hey, by the way, this video was sponsored by so-and-so. And it's not always necessarily somebody financial. You know, it's just, some of them are like, you know, I think like one of them is like L'Oreal, right? Like people who make cream and soap and, you know, stuff like that. So you go and you read these things or whatever, and, you know, the first link under the YouTube video is a link back to that sponsor site. And it's, so clearly people are paying for that, right? I'm sure they're making good money from brand deals and sponsorships, but right, there's a problem when you're this reliant on that kind of money, right? And I see a bigger problem here is that blue bar, we'll come back to that blue bar in a second, right? But that blue bar is products that the Financial Diet owns, right, in one way or another. So that is the Eventbrite type stuff. That's the, you know, the YouTube membership. You know, technically that's, I'm spending money with the Financial Diet. We'll come back to that in just a little bit, right? But again, I would just want to focus on this enormous big green one right here, because there's a big problem with brand deals. And unfortunately, right, Chelsea and the Financial Diet had a rather public problem with that just a few days ago.
Yeah, and Scott, I want to add, like, this breakdown is what every creator or a typical creator thinks what they should be doing. They're like, okay, my next step, once I got my YouTube channel, is to start getting brand deals, start reaching out to sponsors. How can I get them to sponsor my YouTube channel? And they don't think about products. Ad revenue is going to come in, but if they're a small channel and they're just getting started, they're not going to make any ad revenue. So, like, yeah, this is TFD is doing it on a large scale, but this is what a typical creator thinks it should be. This is now the normal way to do it.
And it should definitely be pointed out, right, that Chelsea and what her team did here is not normal, right? This is completely abnormal. This is a very sophisticated operation that has done a great job of reaching a point where you can make what I'm sure is very good money with brands and YouTube ads and you know, that kind of stuff. But man, for most people, you know, who are in the 1,000 subscribers, maybe 5, 10,000 subscribers tops, you know what I mean? There is just not that much juice there to squeeze, right, on this kind of stuff. And there's a great comment just came in from Derek down here. I just want to highlight this really quick, because it's another one of the big problems, right? I had 30,000 followers on a Facebook page. All of a sudden, they took away my ability to boost, lost contact with all of them, right? It's exactly right. Derek's comment is exactly why, right? And like, I'm not going and saying that everybody on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, you need to be worried about getting your butt kicked off. That's not necessarily the problem, but it's possible. And if you're not investing in building your own group of customers, your own audience, your own email list, like those kind of things can happen, and they can happen overnight, right? So, anyway, so back to this, right? Back to the brand deal, sponsorship type deal. Here's something that Chelsea posted, and I thought was very brave. I thought it was a very good comment. You know what I mean? It's great to see transparency from this kind of brand. You mean, but Jordan, walk us through this, and maybe we probably need to take this one full screen so everybody can see it, right? But here's something that Chelsea posted. They had a problem with one of the brands that paid for a sponsorship on one of their videos just a few days ago.
Yep, they did an organic video that's, you know, they're talking about whatever topic they want to talk about, and then there's a sponsor inserted kind of, you know, a minute into the video, and a lot of comments came in from their subscribers, from their community, saying, why is this sponsor on this video? Why are they, who is this? Why are they, and it's just like, you know, it didn't align with what TFD stood for. And she writes here, you know, even though it was making tons of money for us and we're getting tons of ad revenue and the deal went through, we decided to take it down. We were going to first just remove the ad, then we decided to remove the entire video, and they don't want to jeopardize their relationship with the community. And then at the very end, she kind of wraps it up and says, like, ads and sponsors will always likely be a part of the TFT business model, which I thought was just kind of like, not to say they're surrendering, but like they just kind of think like this is the only way to make money as a brand, as a channel on YouTube. We're kind of stuck with this, and this sucks. This was a big mistake. They vet brand deals all the time. They have to talk with tons and tons of brands, because I'm sure there's tons of people that want to be on the show, and they have to say no to a lot of people. Sure. But it's just this kind of headache. And like, what does this lead to? Where could this go? And then we kind of break it down. Like, this is kind of how we see like brand deals versus like selling your own product. And Scott, you want to kind of go through this one by one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, listen, what unfortunately happened to Chelsea there, and something she's kind of got to walk back and got to go to her audience and, you know, whatever, is the unfortunate problem with relying on brand deals so heavily for the majority of your revenue, right? Mm-hmm. Which, again, is an educated guess about where, you know, the financial diet is at. But the idea is that you basically you don't have control, right? When you're relying on brand deals, you are tied to that brand, and, you know, I mean, they're likely going to exercise a level of creative control in what the video is about, or how you talk about that brand, or, you know, things like that. You know, you're going to be forced, you can be forced into situations where you have to send cold emails and sales proposals and things like that to your audience that you're not maybe that comfortable with, or you don't love. It's not really in line with what you're doing, you know what I mean? But when you're beholden to somebody else because of that revenue, right? Things like that can happen. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end of the day, things happen on their terms and not yours. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say that, you know, Chelsea and her team here has lost their integrity. That's not at all what I'm saying. But we have seen this happen in other ways with other creators, where you take on these brand deals and your integrity can go with it, right? It's a really, really slippery slope. But when we pivot, right? What is the rainbow here? What is the pot of the gold at the end of the rainbow here, right? That we're being kind of doom and gloom. The alternative here, right, is when you sell products and services and goods that you own, right? You are in complete creative control. All of a sudden, you don't need those brand deals that much anymore. You can afford and say, hey, listen, I'm going to take 1/10 of the brand deals that I had before. I'm going to charge way more for it, but I'm only going to go with like the perfect people because I make a bunch of money over here on my own. I don't need you guys for the revenue, right? And you can continue to chase both avenues, but, you know, you get a chance to pick and choose. You know, you get a chance to speak directly to your audience on your own schedule, stand by your product, right? You get a chance to keep all of the profit. You know what I mean? Like all of the world is set up for owners. You know what I mean? The world is set up for people who own businesses, people who own products, people who do those kind of things. And that's exactly what this is all about, right? So you're on your own terms, man. We've got a solution for you if you want to be on your own terms financially. That is just a great blueprint that we see over and over and over again. And it's on the next slide.
There we go. So this is kind of the before picture.
Yeah. So this is the before picture. This is, you know, if we had to guess, this is kind of where Chelsea and the financial diet people are probably at, right? Massively dependent on brand deals and sponsors. That's where most of the revenue is coming from, right? Flip the script, because this is really what we see, right, from the typical Samcar creator, is we see this equation completely flipped, and the lion's share of revenue that they're making comes from selling their own products, right? Their own courses, digital downloads, services. memberships. We actually literally have a slide at the end where we can just brainstorm as many different types of things that you could go and sell to your audience, or that Chelsea and the Financial Diet could do as well, right? But you still take in the YouTube ad revenue, right? Take in brand sponsor deals and stuff like
Sure.
that. But when you have an audience that loves you this much, you know what I mean? You have an opportunity to make a ton of money, and the lion's share of your money, right, from selling your own stuff is just such a big, big, big opportunity, right? And so we come back to this is something again from kind of, who the Financial Diet is. They're basically saying 97% of the people trust the information they consume from us. 85% make financial decisions based off of our information. 76% of people make purchasing decisions from the Financial Diet. All that tells me
Pretty good.
is that they have a massive opportunity to put some products and services in front of their audience that they own, that they sell, that they control, right? And start making their own revenue out of thin air, right? I think that's maybe the biggest single opportunity. So Taylor, you are a creator. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that you do in different ways. And certainly as you've come in Samcart, your way of you viewing monetization has changed some or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Like what do you see here from the Financial Diet, and how do you see this playing out in your own audience?
Yeah, and I think, I want to also reiterate what you guys have said, that like brand deals aren't bad. It's
Yeah,
just
they're not.
structuring
It's
them
not
how.
rip it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to completely rip it out. I'm a small creator and I have sponsors, right? But I'm very choosy about them because I've adjusted how I do my free content versus my paid content in a way that's respectful to my audience, but also respects my time. And I think that's something, when you have an audience that this is this loyal, you get nervous about as a creator, because you've built such a great community and you're like, I want to make sure you have all the free information that you can possibly stand. But at the same time, if I'm going to take 40 hours out of my week to do all of this, I got to keep the lights on, right? So this
Right.
is one of those situations where it's okay to put out your own stuff because your fans want to support you. They're going through these channels to support you. So don't be afraid to ask for that. And I think that's where we could see a lot more from the Financial Diet, is the fact that you have over 50% of your audience who do all of these three things. That's hard work. Like, that's hard ass
Yeah.
work to get everybody to that point where they're doing that. Like, I could only imagine my engagement being to that degree. So if you're having this type of loyalty, put something in front of them. They want to support you. Put something there that can give them direct access to you. We talk about time. If you don't necessarily want to do an actual product, or you haven't really gotten to the point where you're ready to push that out, 30 minutes of your time, right? An hour of your time to like, hey, look over what I'm doing with my finances, or can I just ask you questions for 30 minutes? Whatever is feasible for you and makes sense for your business model. Like, it's okay to put that out there, and you don't have to be huge for that to happen, right?
Right.
You get to
Yeah,
control the narrative on
they built up enough credibility. They know their audience just clearly from this media kit slide. Like, they've done all the hard
Yep.
work. It's all about like,
100%.
who is my audience? What are their problems? Who should I? Do they trust me? Yes, they know, like, and trust you. So if you were to turn around and say, "Hey, we're putting together this Financial Diet plan," there you go. Then it's $10, it's $20, it's $50, it's $99 a year, whatever it may be. They're going to love it, because instead of saying, hey, buy this L'Oreal lotion or go to Fidelity and sign up for a credit card, they're instead saying like, hey, we stand by this product. This is our stuff. We put a lot of work into this. We're proud of this. And we know that you guys are going to love this. Click right here, which kind of brings us to question number 3, which is, how easy is it to buy?
How
And we
easy
went
is
on their
it to buy?
website.
That's
It's-
exactly right. So to recap again, right? Question number 1 is, what is the opportunity? How big is your audience? How much money can you make from what you're doing, right? Question number 2 is, what are they currently promoting? And then question number 3 of 4, we got one more, right? How easy is it to buy? How difficult is it for someone to go from reading an email from you, or watching a YouTube video, or engaging on Instagram, to discovering stuff you have to buy and purchasing it, right? That's it. That's the whole question. Nothing super major here. And so I think what would be really cool is, let's go ahead. And by the way, for you guys watching, right, give yourself a letter grade. How easy is it for your audience to buy your stuff? Okay. Like, looking at this slide, looking at this question, give me a letter grade. Do you think you are doing an A+ job of that? Do you think you are doing a C- job of that? Let me know. Drop a letter grade down below, because this is a really, really, really big question for you guys to answer, as well as you think about how you can apply this to monetizing your own audience. So what we have over here, right, is we actually have the link tree from the Financial Diet. right? So if I go back over, you guys can see here is, their Instagram account. If you click the link in bio, it takes you to a link tree, right? Very common type thing. I also have their most recent YouTube video pulled up over here. And you guys can see that I've been watching a lot of woodworking YouTube videos recently. So I'm really getting into woodworking, guys. We'll see. But
that's
you
next
can
week's
see
episode.
Next week's episode, right? Scott
We're
Whittles.
working with Sam Cart.
That's all we're gonna do. But you guys can see, you come in here, right? And what's the first link right under their YouTube video is to a sponsor, right? To avast.com, right? And I don't even know what that is. Honestly, I have no idea. But you guys can check it out. Here's some source links down here. They've got a link to YouTube, right? You go back to their homepage. You can see what you see on their homepage is playing out underneath of all their YouTube videos, right? So if I go over to their link tree, let's see what's here, right? First month of Newly, right? So another sponsor, right? Or I assume to be a sponsor or brand deal, right? Learn more about Neutrogena, right? That's what I mentioned before. I think I said L'Oreal is incorrect, right? Learn more about Neutrogena. Join the society at the Financial Diet, which is great. Now we're talking about what I believe is their newsletter, right? If I click on that.
The membership.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. That's the YouTube membership that you can go and purchase, right? Yeah. So that's great, right? I really like that, third one down is something you can go buy, something you can go check out. We've talked about some of the downsides of YouTube, right? But imagine how easy this would be if all that happened was the first link in a link tree, right? Sent someone to a page that looks something like this, right? Here is a page built by Sam Cart. This is another creator, Erica Colbert, is in this financial space as well, right? And we did a Tuesday takeover with her months ago. And basically just, imagine sending someone to a page that looks like this. And all it was pitching the Financial Diet budget spreadsheet or something, some kind of digital download, something easy that someone can come in here and buy, right? But you get a chance to make this page as long or as short as you want, right? And someone comes in, and then right here, this is where Sam Cart's magic really kicks in, right? We're going to let someone purchase on the very same page, no step after step after step, and add to cart and log in and sign in this and log out that and all that kind of stuff, right? Where all we're going to do is give somebody a chance to buy very, very quickly, right? And then what you get a chance to do is you get a chance to let your customers discover other items that you might have to buy, right? And purchase them. And that's how ending what we call one and done sales. One and done sales says, I'm going to let someone buy one product and that's it. That's all I'm gonna let them do. I have product A, come buy product A, and that's it. If you're guilty of one and done sales, give me a guilty yes with like a hand raise emoji or something right in the chat, because one and done sales is the fastest way to not grow faster, right? But when you get rid of that and you let your customers go into buying and discovery mode and you give them a chance to say, for maybe the Financial Diet, we'll do something like, get this budgeting spreadsheet, right? And then, as a bonus upgrade, how about, we did a bonus interview with, Chelsea and our leadership team talking in depth about the spreadsheet and how to use it, right? How we use it in our lives, or, I don't know, something like that, right?
Maybe the video companion.
Right. Yeah. Maybe there's an ebook that goes with it. Maybe there's a course. Maybe there's a chance for someone to click and join the Financial Diet Society, right? Come and join the society, but it's not in YouTube. So you keep all the revenue. They can't shut you down. You own the customers. You know what I mean? All of this data is yours and you own it. You have it. We don't take, Sam Cart certainly doesn't take a dime of your sales, right? So all of this thing leads us back to a situation where it is still easy for your customers to go from, watch a YouTube video, click the link right down below, go to a page, one very simple page just like this one, where they can learn about something that you own, you create one time and sell an unlimited amount of times, right? Where you are keeping most or all of the profit, right? At that point, you are complete creative control over whatever you put here, right? You are not beholden to a brand deal for it. You get to keep everything, and you own the customer, and your customers can explore and buy more stuff along the way, right? That is a pretty good equation right there, right? And that is why Sam Cart, we are the e-commerce platform for creators. That's why we have features like this built in, so that our creators can turn more subscribers into paying customers. They can maximize the revenue that they recognize from these, kind of events, and that they own their own business, that you're not shelling customers out the door to some place that can shut you down, at their next whim, right? Here's one more example. This is another one. This guy's name is Andre Gique, another awesome creator, also kind of in the financial, kind of space. We thought it was just a good example. But here's another page, right? Example page built on Sam Cart. Imagine sending right from Linktree, right here, where someone can learn about your digital download, learn about your society membership, learn about your, quick online course, learn about whatever, right? have a chance to come, discover, buy right here on the same page, and then get a chance to say, cool, you know what? I want to add this, and I want to go ahead and have a free trial of my membership, and
Yep.
whatever it is. Discover more stuff, buy more along the way, right? It is just a complete win-win across the board for creators.
So we got some great grades on how easy is it to buy your stuff. Derek gave a C minus, Cynthia gave an A, and then Nick Lewis wrote this C minus for me. I'm too busy with brand deals and videos that I struggle to find the time to build my own stuff. Getting there, need to get off the treadmill. That's actually totally true. When you work with a brand, they will say, how many videos can we get out of you? Yeah, we need you to make one big 20-minute video, go make
Right.
3 5-minute videos, we need 10 TikToks, and you've got a week to do it. And then
Heck yeah.
once you're done making all that content, then you have to go out and sail and hunt and find another brand to say, hey, I just did this deal. Do you want, and just repeat the cycle over and over and over. So he's not wrong. Yeah.
I
it's
love that. I
definitely a
honestly,
treadmill.
Nick, I get the comment 100%. You got to get off that treadmill, right? The whole idea here is, you know what? How can we engineer a situation where you get a chance to recognize some revenue that brand deals can't touch? You know what I mean? That, like, how does that happen? What if all you did, right, was go and create one very simple page like the ones I showed before and pre-sell an idea, right? You don't even have it yet. Hey guys, I'm going to give you a huge discount on this idea that I have. I'm making a financial spreadsheet, or I don't know what you do specifically, Nick, but pre-sell that idea, give people an awesome discount, launch it out there, and you know what? You will never be more motivated to get off that treadmill than when you go and say, you know what? I just made freaking 10 grand, right, or whatever it might be, selling my own product, right? And immediately you start weaning yourself off of. And Jordan, we can even just go back in the slides, right? I want to help every single person here go from, and we'll bring this up and get this a little bit bigger here. I want to help every single person go from this revenue breakdown right here, right? Maybe this is what you look like, and maybe your bar is affiliate revenue, right? Maybe your bar is YouTube ad revenue. I don't know, whatever your big green bar is that's not your own products, right? I want to help every single creator see the light and understand that when you focus on your own products, this is what we see. Every single healthy creator on Samcart, their own stuff is their biggest line item, bar none, right? It is 70, 80, sometimes 90% of what they make and what their revenue is. They're still chasing YouTube ad revenue. They're still bringing in some brand deals. They're still doing affiliate recommendations. Like, they're still doing all those other things, right? But the opportunity is always in what is your audience want from you? Because your audience, if you have a big loyal audience like the Financial Diet, if you've got your own small loyal audience, you know what I mean? They want you, they want access, they want that stuff from you. Taylor, here's a great question, right? While we, I think, go back over to, the very, the tail end of our last couple slides here, right? Is what kind of stuff does your audience want from you? I love the idea, like, you're in the diabetes space. Jordan, you do stuff in videography. You know what I mean? I've done stuff in baseball and things like that. Like, what sort of things have you brought to your audience that, like, you own, you're collecting all the profit on? Like, what has that been for you and your audiences?
I would say for those in the health advocacy space, the biggest thing that I've noticed for myself is time. So can I sit in a think tank group for an hour and talk about the struggles that I'm having with my medication, or ask questions about how do I use all this new diabetes technology? This brand is throwing out this brand is throwing out that. Should I use it? Should I not? That kind of deal. How can I get more involved politically with ensuring that medications are low cost? Like, there's a lot of different options. I think everybody hears, being in the creator economy, and it's just like course. It's like, no,
Right.
There's so many options. I'm working on a physical product, right?
Awesome.
On being able to bring something for those who need to wear medical bracelets, things like that. Have a lot of different options. I just thought about what's missing in my day-to-day or during my journey, like in building my own business, that I didn't have then. And for me, a lot of it was I didn't have access to people who understood what the hell I was going through. So where do I find the people? And now that I have limited time, I don't mind sitting and talking to people, but hey, just how my job pays me 40 hours a week for my time, I need to pay me at least an hour of my time, because I'm losing opportunity there. And
Absolutely.
People don't even bat an eyelash at that. You know what I mean? So there really is a lot of opportunity for so many different things that you're probably already doing or already thought about, or doesn't actually center itself around a course. Because I know that's always the big buzzword that everybody hears. It doesn't have to be a course. I literally sit on Zoom calls.
Yeah, you're selling the answer to a question that has taken you years and years to answer.
Yep.
And
Right.
you're telling your customer, hey, instead of spending 10 years of being an expert and being in the field, learning all this stuff, just buy this right here. Buy the answer. You can buy it and learn it in 30 seconds, as opposed to saying you need to be, you got to go to school, you got to go to college, you got to go through all these experiences. Like, we're going to save you time. All you have to do is buy this right here.
For sure. Which brings us to question number 4, right? So, and I just dropped a link to one of those pages in the chat. You guys can go check it out, right? But is really, how easy is it to buy more, right? How easy is it to help one of your customers go from, and we got some guilty yeses in the chat, by the way. We had some people who admitted to being super guilty of one and done sales. And I can't stress this enough. Any creators who are watching this right now, if you are guilty of one and done sales, removing that hurdle is one of the biggest single opportunities sitting in front of you right this second, right? So how can you get rid of one and done sales? Let your customers go from finding product A to finding product B and C and D and buying the ones that they want, right? Upsells and downsells, very common terms. You know what I mean? Samcart uses a lot of stored credit card technology to make it seamless and easy and, checkbox simple for customers to go and buy more stuff. Add-ons and bundles are a great way too, right? How can I go from selling, a book to selling the platinum package that it includes an audiobook or includes digital downloads with it, or, includes something out there so customers can go and spend more money, right? So here's a question for everybody, right? This comes from, kind of a semi-famous, like a lot of different ways this has been, explored in movies and stuff like that. Grant Cardone does a lot of videos like this. We were watching one before this, right? But what is the most amount of money that someone can spend with you? If someone came in and bought everything you had, right? What is that number? And literally put it in the chat if you guys are with us right now. What is the most amount of money that someone can spend with you and your brand? Is it $100? Is it $1,000? Is it $10,000? Like, because most creators make the problem of, listen, even if you bought everything I have, it's like, it's $50. You know what I mean? It's something small. It's like, it's not. When you let customers go from buying one thing to buying many, right? Doors open up, revenue doors open up. You can literally multiply the amount of money you're making by answering this question right here to the left of my face.
Yeah, even thinking about like the financial diet, they have a huge gradient of different types of people in their audience, from people that just first learned about them that says, I don't want to spend any money with them at all the way up to the most crazed fans that are just like, what can I do to spend an hour with you, Chelsea? Or like, can I shadow you for the day? Can I be in your financial advisor mastermind group for $1,000 a week? So you got to find out, like, what's the upper limit? Like you said, Scott, like, what's the upper limit that someone can spend with you? And not just assuming that everyone is on the low end of the spectrum. They're like, hey, I don't have any money. The most I have is $30. It's like, no, there's customers out there that will spend 10x, 100x more than what you think they're willing to spend.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, especially
absolutely.
with the pre-order option, like, never sleep on the opportunity of even a wait list. And you would think that, like, nobody would ever want to be on a wait list, but we watch it unfold every year. Every time Samsung drops a new phone, every time Apple drops something new, we watch people pre-order stuff all the time. I'm a gamer. Hello, God of War coming out in November. Like, count me out. I'm playing all of it, right? Like,
Taylor's
we
already
still
got a
can't
camp outside of Best Buy. Yeah.
Listen. I used to do that at GameStop. I used to camp out for Call of Duty all the time.
Halo 2, I was temped out.
Oh my God. Those were the days, right? So, like, don't think that doesn't translate online. People will absolutely pay to secure that spot, even if it's a coupon of like, hey, this isn't coming out for another 3 months, but if you go ahead and get in line now and pay for it now, you'll get it at its lowest price. It will never be this cheap ever again. So, like, if you hit that wall of like, I don't know what else, especially for those of us who are more like time, wise in terms of our products, it's like, well, I don't know when these dates are specifically going to happen, but maybe, I'm going to spend at least 40 hours over the next quarter offering to be in these groups or whatever. You can prepay for your slot, put a cap on how many people that could max out. And then you could be like, all right, you'll get an email when the dates are open to book or whatever. And you already have the revenue up front to make sure that it's all working perfectly. So
I love it.
Don't be afraid of a pre-order for endless opportunity.
Heck yeah. Great comment from Nick. Nick said $0. So the most someone can go and spend with his brand right now is literally zero. He said, I'm convinced, need to get to work. I love it, Nick.
The bar is low. We got to raise the bar.
The bar
You
is
got
low, yeah. And then on the other end, here comes Larry coming in and
There we
says,
go.
$100,000, right? So Larry, I don't
I
know
get
what it is that you're selling, my man, but good job. And my
right.
question to someone like Larry, right, is how easy is it for customers to keep going, right? And spend that full $100,000, right? It's one thing if I'm selling you something chunked out small and they got to go back through my website and click, link, and then you find something else to go buy that you keep going, right? But when you make it easy for customers to keep finding more, like the example page that we showed, right? That's when you really start feeling the brunt of how easy is it for people to go buy, right? And start recognizing more of that revenue. So awesome. We thought we would take the last like 5 minutes here and dive in. And we want your guys' feedback in the chat, right? What could the Financial Diet sell? What kinds of digital goods, digital products, services, really whatever. What kinds of things could they sell that they own, that their audience would love, you know what I mean? And would, that people would dive in. Honestly, maybe there's even people here right now that follow them closely, you know what I mean, really in on finances and, or saying, I would love to buy X from Chelsea or something like that, you know what I mean? But drop it in the chat down below. We're just going to take some time and just brainstorm.
Scott, let's go and do our YouTube method for finding a typical product that the Financial Diet should sell. I'll share your screen here in a second.
I like it. Yep, we'll go do that.
There we go.
All right,
so, folks,
Jordan, talk to people through it.
Yeah, so if you are a current content creator and you have a YouTube channel, for example, but you're not sure what product to sell or where to start, or I don't know what my audience wants, go to your videos, go to your catalog, go to your library, and sort your videos by most popular, most controversial, most comments, the one that had the most questions on it, or even think back, like, what is the number one question that my audience is constantly bugging me about that I'm having to answer over and over and over and over? And even if you just start with your YouTube channel right here, sort by most popular, you can start to find trends. You can start to find things. Oh, people really resonated with this. So it's, you can say like something about side hustles, mistakes you make in your 20s, like the 20-year-old's financial guide for TFD.
Gotta like that. Yep.
Financial guide for when you're in your 30s, for when you're in your 40s, like all could be based around that. What else do we have?
The overrated purchases, man. Like dupes.
Overrated purchases. Yep,
I literally follow an Instagram account that shows dupes for high-end brands and like the cheaper version of it. So I love Chanel, but I don't have Chanel easy spending money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So stuff like that. Like even just, hey, if you want, you saw it when podcasting blew up. Like, hey, here's a list of all of this great gear because everybody went out and bought a crap ton of gear. But like, do you actually need it? Like, here's the budget level for that, and then here's links to that. Like that, easy.
Exactly. Yeah, you could just sell a list. Put a list. Write down a list of 20 things on a Word doc, and just sell access to that. Put it on Google Docs, and just share the link as people buy it. That's all you gotta do.
I love it. Yeah, I think anything that was sort of done for you or templatized for them, I think would be great. This is the Financial Diet, budget spreadsheet. I think clearly, people want to know how much should I be spending on my rent, making this much, or it's like, what is everybody sort of has their own methodology about finances and how to approach it, and certainly people just want to know Chelsea's opinion. Clearly, they're just here for, hey, Chelsea, like. What sort of purchases should I be making or not? Like what sort of products are worth it and what sort of ones are not? It's just there's so much here that just tells me over and over again that her audience just wants her opinion, right? It might might be Chelsea, maybe it's Financial Diet as a whole, but they want to dive in. They just want more opinion, more direction, more, that kind of thing essentially from the Financial Diet. So yeah, there are so many things here that could easily be made. I think the easiest, lowest hanging fruit is that membership, is that society membership. I think charging that outside of YouTube specifically, could be a really, really big win there. I think anything that delivered in a Google Doc, like Jordan said, is a great idea. Anything that can be delivered in a budget spreadsheet is a good idea.
Template, budget guides, any kind of, shopping list, shopping guide, how to get the most bang for your buck. Shopping list, products to avoid, how to, what to buy at the grocery store to get the most bang for your buck. All of this is about financial literacy, saving money, increasing your net worth. So there's tons of avenues that you can go down.
I would even take what they already have. Like I'm looking at the link tree and they have it nice and spaced out, which by the way, y'all know how I feel about really long link tree. So I appreciate that they separated this out by subject. And your top 3 is still like your top 3 should
What's
always be the
Taylor
most
talking
important
about here?
things. But at
Here we go. We
least
got
yes, it's
nice,
so pretty. Oh my, see,
right?
thank you. Just clean
It
up
is
the
nice.
so I think this is
It's
great.
nice.
But if you go to the free resources section, half of that could easily be something to sell. And it's not to say that you shouldn't offer free stuff to your audience. I mean, they could definitely take versions of this and expand upon it to make it,
For
you know,
sure.
valuable, or make it a low ticket offer, like maybe in a bundle. Especially if you're somebody who like really wants to give free information, that's what your social media is for. Your social
Right.
media is for sharing free content to show people that you are, you know, authentic and the authority in what you're talking about. But once you start directing people to your stuff, it's okay again to say, hey, I've got this budgeting template that I've created in Google Sheets and Notion, and all the formulas are filled in because if you're like me and you like using spreadsheets, but you hate making them, I will throw money at anybody who will do the things
Yep.
for me in Notions or spreadsheets, right? I know budgeting is always a really tough spot for a lot of people. So whenever I think about budgeting and somebody tells me an app or a spreadsheet and it's not already done for me, I've already tuned you out, right?
Mm.
So take that, especially since we know that that's a sore spot, and just throw $10 on it and sell it. And I
Love
bet you how people run into it because I would.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. Great comment from Nick. Always love seeing this, right? Nick was saying that their team is lovely, which is great. Always love hearing that. So, yeah, definitely. You know, we had some great, you know, just people essentially just agreeing with us with the digital product ideas that we were kind of pitching out there. Absolutely love seeing that. Definitely, you know, hope this is the kind of thing that, you know, whether you guys are thinking about what you could go and create very simply for monetizing your own audience, right? Or whether this is something that, you know, makes its way back to financial diet, right? That's the idea. So the idea here is, what can I create one time that I can sell an unlimited number of times? That's the best sort of possible thing you could go and create, is just an asset for what is essentially passive income at that point, right? And yeah, whether that price point is a couple bucks or whether that price point is thousands of dollars, right? Like, it is always there. Solve a problem and your audience will come running to spend money to go there. So, Jordan,
We gotta
always
wrap
talk
up.
about, like, you know, what are we doing here, right? If somebody enjoyed the Tuesday Takeover, if they want more, right, where do we go?
That's right. So the link is in the chat right now, and it's the first link that you'll see in the YouTube description, but it's an events page. So if you want to get notified about the next Tuesday Takeover, or you kind of like this show and you kind of want to stick around and see what they're going to do next, you can get email and text message alerts. Just go to that Luma page /takeover.live something, click the link, and you just drop your email, name, and it will add it automatically to your Google Calendar. You'll get a text to say, hey, we're about to go live in 5 minutes. It's super simple, and I recommend you do it. If you want to keep up with Tuesday Takeover and watch all these awesome business nuggets that we've been dropping every single week, week in and week out.
That's right. And of course, if you guys enjoyed this show, I'm sure you would absolutely love Creator U. So you guys can head over to creatoru.com. I don't spell in public. Somebody flash it on the screen. We don't do that anymore, right? I've learned, Taylor. I've got
I'm
it
so
down.
proud of you. You graduated.
Thank you. I have so many people to thank. First and foremost, Taylor, for telling me not to spell in public anymore. But this is Creator U right here. You guys can go. You can learn from the rest of the Samcart team. You guys can learn from myself and Brian, our co-founder here. You guys can learn from incredible creators that sell their stuff on Samcart, right? And just go learn about what it takes to be an awesome creator, how to grow an audience, how to create awesome products, how to maximize profits, how to scale up with advertising, how to grow audiences on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. There's a YouTube one in there. It's all over the place. I think we have something like 62 or 63 individual trainings available for you guys in there, and it is incredibly cheap. $12 a month is all it takes. You guys can go in there, unlimited access to everything. Go to Creator U, get a subscription, go learn more of the awesome stuff that we talked about here inside of this Tuesday Takeover. But that is creatoru.com. Definitely go check that out.
Yeah, Scott,
And,
what I love about Creator U is, yes, the library is vast, but we have every answer. It seems like we almost have every answer for every stage that you're in with your business. So if you're in your very early stages and you're like, I have no idea, I don't know what product I should even sell, all the way up to the advanced stages where you're like, okay, I'm running serious Facebook ads and I need to learn how to scale this immediately.
I'm trying to pass 8 figures in revenue this quarter. You know what I mean?
Those
Where
kind of
you at?
problems.
And there are people that have done that are in Creator U trying to tell you how to do it. So yeah, highly, highly, highly recommend. Yeah, spot on. It really is for everybody. It is an incredible resource. It is the kind of thing that individually, the price tag on selling these things individually in different time and space before Samcart, we would have probably sold, I don't know, $28,000 to $30,000 worth of stuff in there. You know what I mean? But listen, we're just giving it away. We just want as many people to have it as humanly possible, so you can create more awesome creators that sell more stuff, and we've got more Samcart customers for life. Right? That's our win-win. So definitely go check out Creator U. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Definitely get more stuff for future Tuesday takeovers. And with that, on behalf of Taylor Danielle, Jordan P. Anderson, and the rest of the team at Samcart, I'm Scott Moran. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Go create awesome stuff. We will see you in the next one.